about glasses. And we also agree with his conclusion that autostereoscopic, we believe, is going to drive the 4K market. Now, some of the things we're going to cover with you today is the technologies, the products, the manufacturing, and also the marketplace. And now, 3D technologies, if it's done right, should sort of work like your natural eye. You know, the way you see images and different products and different things in real life in front of you, that is the way 3D should really work. It should not be a special effect or a trick on your brain. And some of the technologies that are very prevalent in 3D that you'll be hearing about or you're somewhat familiar with, one of them is obviously stereoscopic, which is basically two images on the left and right side that rotate very fast and basically try to trick your brain into seeing 3D when it is really not there. And another technology which is prevalent for 3D without glasses is a technology called barrier, where they literally use physical barriers to block certain images and not allow the light to come in, so it'll force certain images into your left eye and other images into your right eye. But again, they're sort of tricking you into seeing 3D when it is really not there. True 3D, if it is done right, should look like you're looking through a window at a world that is just beyond your reach. And that is the feeling you should get when you see real 3D. Now, our technology, the Ultra D technology, works on panels of any size. It doesn't matter whether it's small, like a phone, or as big as a television set, or things like a laptop. It'll work on various sizes, so it's not any type of size restriction. Also works on any type of panel. So whether it's LCD or OLED or LED, it doesn't really matter. The Ultra D technology lends itself to different types of panels. Now, the other great thing about Ultra D is that the amount of 3D is actually adjustable. So on your remote control, you can adjust the amount of pop that you can see in the images. You can actually customize, so to speak, the amount of 3D. So if you're one of those people who likes images way out, you can do that. Or if you like a softer 3D, or more of a natural effect, you can sort of dial it back a little bit. Now, the other thing is that our technology is also user-friendly. So there's none of those head-tracking cameras. You don't have to worry about if multiple people come over to your house to watch television, or if you're using a laptop where you have to stay right in front of it. The great thing is you can have as many people as you like coming in and sort of watching the television set. Also, there's a lot more clarity and brightness with this technology. Some of the other 3D glasses technologies you're going to see are incredibly dark, and they don't look like natural at all when you see the images. Now, the other thing about Ultra D is that we were the first technology to sort of pioneer around the corner views. So it's not just a simple, a little animation sort of popped out on the screen. You can actually see it from the side, and you don't have issues with viewing angles or cones or any of those type of problems or transitions. You don't have any of those type of problems with the Ultra D technology. And also, the Ultra D is based on a proprietary hardware, a proprietary software, and a proprietary middleware. So it's a unique system that operates to function to drive the Ultra D technology. Now, as you know, the 3D with glasses market launched a few years ago, and we as a company had decided many years ago that we didn't think outside the movie theaters and some specialty locations that wearing the glasses would be really prevalent in the consumer market, certainly not in the mobile market or even in the in-home market. But we have seen, in spite of the glasses, a steady growth over the last 18 months in television sets on a worldwide basis. And our view behind that is the reason why that's happening is that there is a real demand underlying for the content. There's a hunger to at least see the content and make it more immersive. So in spite of the inconveniences, the market is still growing with the glasses. Now, last year, for those of you who are not familiar, we'd announced a partnership with a company by the name of Pegatron, who will be helping us to make our devices. Now, our business model at Ultra D is that we supply a 3D module, meaning an optical system and our chips, and it goes to manufacturers who make the devices. put it inside, it's sort of similar to like an Intel Inside strategy. You'll see a logo that'll say Ultra D, so people know it's the best 3D without glasses in the world, but it goes inside the device. And one of the partnerships we had announced last year is a company by the name of Pegatron. Pegatron is one of the leading ODM manufacturers in the world. They are a company that has a very diverse clientele, such as Apple and Hewlett-Packard and Microsoft and Sony and HP. They're making, the iPhone. They're sharing some of their work with Foxconn. They are also making the new iPad Mini. They're also supposed to be making the Microsoft Surface tablet. Pegatron is going to be making all of our devices, everything from television sets to laptops to PCs to phones and tablets, all with the Ultra D technology behind it. Pegatron is also introducing this technology to their incredible customer list, on a worldwide basis, and they've gotten fantastic reception for the Ultra D technology. So we're very, very excited by this relationship. Now, the other market, as some of you may be familiar with, that is absolutely booming for 3D with the glasses, in particular television sets, is the China market. And in China, 3D with the glasses are just exploding. It's not because they love to wear those glasses, but in China there's an even more hunger for the 3D content. They really want to see the content. They're willing to put up with the inconvenience of the glasses. So the market there is just really, really taking off compared to the rest of the world. And it's now the #1 market for 3D with the glasses. Now, we had announced last year a technology partnership with the #1 brand in China, a company by the name of Hisense. And Hisense is, it's already a great company, but they are one of the great companies in our industry that you're going to see over the next few years really rise. I mean, they are really getting involved in some, fantastic technology products, and they're really trying to become a real true leader in our industry. And they've now recently became the #5 TV company on a worldwide basis. And they are going to be selling our devices not only in China, but worldwide. Now, we have a booth, at CES, and you'll be able to just see a small demo today. But if you get a chance, you can swing by the Hisense booth, and they will have one of our television sets in their booth that they will be demonstrating one of our 2160p television sets. Now, some of the things you've heard, recently in the industry, Apple had announced a few years ago a technology called Retina display, and the concept was behind it, to put a simpler point to it, was to supply devices that had very high resolution panels, and basically the pixels per inch was at a very high number, almost to the point where the human eye couldn't see the images. Now, that was great that they were supplying great, panels, and it did make the pictures look better, it did make the videos look better, but there was no Retina content. There was no content that matched up with the level of the panel, because the panel has a fair amount of capacity, so there was no content to supply to that. Now, here at CES, you're going to be hearing a lot of companies coming out with 4K displays, everybody from LG to Samsung to Toshiba and other companies such as Sony, and they will have 4K TVs, which are TVs that basically have panels that have an 8 million capacity with it. Now, the problem with these 8 million pixels on the panel, as Engadget and others have pointed out, it's very difficult to find native 4K content, and it's practically impossible because these are very big files, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but you practically can't find any. And so there's a problem, and so the consumer, they may have to wait yet again for getting content for these devices. Now, with our technology, what we've done is we've come up with a solution for this. Now, not only do we supply the best 3D glasses in the world, but our algorithms are incredibly complex. And it basically, when the images come into the television set or the device, the algorithms in our technology basically analyze the picture, and it basically measures the disparity between the images and releases the occlusion data, and that allows us to add pixels to the content. So now we are taking full use of the panel. So we are able to increase the resolution without the use of a scaler. So basically you have a panel that has a capacity of 8 million pixels, and now you can have a content potentially that has 8 million pixels in it. Now, what we're also proposing is a new format to go along with this that we call the Ultra D 2160p format. And so the advantage of this is that our technology, the format, basically the files only take the same amount of bandwidth that you would get for like 1080p. So you don't have to, some of these 4K files can be as big as 128 gigabytes and take 4 times the amount of bandwidth to stream. But the advantage of this is that we can now supply very high resolution content using the existing infrastructure around the world. Now, to give you a little bit finer point to it, to give you a little bit better explanation, when you have a 1080p panel and you have 1080p content, when you send it in, you're capped to the panel capacity. You can't go higher than the 1080p. And the problem with our technology is when we have a 1080p panel, when we send in 1080p content, if we try to release more pixel data, we're again capped at that panel. But because there's a 2160p panel, when we have the 1080p content, we can raise the level of resolution all the way possibly up to 2160p. So now for the first time, 3D without glasses can give a picture quality not only almost, if not equal to a stereoscopic, in fact possibly even higher, and it would be very competitive with even 2D. In some cases, we would argue this is a more practical solution for 2D because native 4K takes up so much bandwidth, it's going to take years and years to get that content. Now, the other advantage with our technology is that with the higher resolution, it's also increased the pop and depth by almost 250% over a 1080p panel. And so you get a substantially higher resolution than even just a standard Blu-ray. Now, if you're somebody who likes to watch your pictures flat, you can always turn down the depth and the pop, but you get the advantage of our algorithms and the extra pixel data. Now, our devices come with, our television sets come with a converter box that we call the CQ4K, which you can feed in all your favorite content. So everything like 2D Blu-rays, and we can do 2D to 3D conversion, also your stereoscopic Blu-rays, your iTunes, your Xbox, your YouTube, your PS3, the Dish Network. We will be able to feed that in and then convert it to having an incredible 3D without glasses experience, as well as a very high resolution. And you can also watch all your favorite TV channels, your cable and satellite services, and a wide range of different services. You now can get that through the CQ4K. And also you can connect things like your Apple iPad, your Android tablets, so even things like iTunes, Hulu, Netflix, you'll be able to watch those things in 3D without glasses. Things like, even things like Angry Birds looks fantastic, and using our CQ4K, or you can do things like even Skype or FaceTime. Now, in addition to the real-time conversion boxes that come with the television set, we also have a device coming out called the CQ Server, and what that does is that allows content owners, such as movie studios or TV stations, to basically take their library content, live television feeds, and basically put it in our format and send it directly to the TV set. And again, we don't consume as much bandwidth as native 4K. So all of our 2160p TV sets, or our tablets, our phones, our PCs, they can send that content to those devices. And even our 1080p TV sets, the format's backwards compatible, so it'll go back down to 1080p when you're using our 1080p TV set. And that is the fastest, quickest way to actually distribute 2160p. Now, in addition to that, we're working with a number of TV stations and also app stores and some movie download sites. We also have movie download stores and different services and apps in our format which will be available for the consumer on the devices. Now again, we'll have a wide range of different devices using this technology, and many of these will actually be in 2160p. Now the first 2160p devices you'll be seeing coming out will have obviously the high resolution panels. There'll be a 60-inch and a 50-inch 4K by 2K television sets, and they'll be coming bundled with the C-Cube 4K, which will enable the real-time conversion. And so if you come to our booth, you'll be able to see the demos of the 60-inch, and you can also see a demo of the real-time conversion in the 2160p format. Now we also have an older television set, which you'll also be able to see at our booth that we'd announced last year and that we'd finished that we're quite proud of. And it's a 1080p TV set that allows real-time conversion, and it comes bundled with a C-Cube that allows you to play content in 1080p. And we also have a 31.5-inch unit, which will be used for all-in-one PCs or as a traditional PC that you can use for real-time conversion. And it'll be a 4K by 2K panel, and it'll also have the Ultra D 2160p technology on it. It also has some HDMI slots, so you can even use it potentially as a second television set in the home. We're also going to be having a wide range of mobile devices such as tablets, phones, and even laptops in 2160p with the Ultra D 2160p technology. So even mobile devices, because of these incredible algorithms we developed, now you're going to be able to see content in even 2160p format on these mobile devices, because it's going to take quite a while to get 2160p if it's a native 4K into the mobile world. So now the implications for this technology, just to reiterate what we had spoken about earlier as we're winding this up, is that for content owners, this is an opportunity with our technology using their existing infrastructure to quickly diffuse out 4K. So for movie studios and TV stations, they now can offer a quality even better than even Blu-ray. So this is a whole brand new opportunity for them. And we believe that we're going to be able to address that shortage. Because everybody remember what happened with stereoscopic and also even HD many years ago when the devices came out. The consumer had to sit around for years and years and years with no content. And with this technology, we now can finally, when the 4K devices come out, these high resolution devices, we're giving the consumer an opportunity to actually have content that goes along with the devices. And as we've seen from some of the other companies that are in our industry, such as Apple and others, that's a very important thing, that the consumer gets both content with the devices. And also there's a big opportunity for device manufacturers, because many of them are now rolling out 4K and they're already getting feedback from people. There's a wonderful panel, but where's the content? And we just went out and bought a 1080p TV device, just a few years ago. Why do we got to upgrade? There's no content. So for device manufacturers, this allows them to go to the consumer and to their market and basically say, not only can you get upgrade to the higher device, but we are fulfilling your needs through making content available for you. Okay. So I'm sure as many of you are aware, we won an award for an innovation award